Ronda Rousey was on the Bert Kreischer podcast, and I don't know that Bert knew, or that really most people, I don't know that most people knew or thought or had any idea that Ronda Rousey was not, a fan of Joe Rogan. One would think that if you're a UFC fighter on the highest of levels like she used to be, that you would respect Joe Rogan. You would respect his position within the company, as he was there way before you were. You would respect his relationship he has with the people that own the company, his relationship with Dana White, and also understand the fact that he doesn't need the job. Joe Rogan doesn't need to be, a color commentator or a play-by-play guy for, again, Joe only does, the big pay-per-views now. I don't think he does the littler ones. Like, they only bring Joe in for the big stuff. But, Joe is absolutely part of the founding fabric of UFC.
And made her famous. I mean, he put her over like nobody.
Yes, and I mean,
like what the heck?
And does that with all champions.
Yep.
He is your, as he's calling the fight, he's promoting you as you're progressing through the ranks of UFC. He's promoting you. I don't know that he's ever been critical of you, Ronda, until you were exposed. And at that point, Joe Rogan, is truthful and transparent and says it like it is. And when Holly Holmes dropped you, maybe Joe said some things you didn't like, but you got dropped. You got your ass kicked. You thought you were all that, and you really were almost like the Chuck Liddell, and the fact that you had a great stand-up game, but once somebody took you down, you were done. Remember Chuck? If Chuck couldn't knock you out with that overhand right, Chuck was in trouble. Now, Chuck was a pretty damn good grappler, but not near like, the GSPs and, some of the other very, very accomplished, ground and pound guys. So anyway, I didn't know that Ronda Rousey had a problem with Joe Rogan. So here's Bert Kreischer, and he's talking to Ronda Rousey. And Ronda, before UFC made you tens of millions of dollars. Let me maybe I can ask. Hey, Alexa. Good morning, Alexa. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay. Hey, Alexa. How much is Ronda Rousey's personal worth?
From Distractify.com. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Ronda's net worth is estimated to be $14 million.
That's not enough.
That's nice.
Well, I guess.
That ain't bad.
I guess. Joe Rogan wipes his ass. Joe Rogan made that last week. I'm just saying. So, Bert Kreischer, who always has kind of a funny podcast, doesn't really get into. And Seth, I think Bert and Joe are good friends.
Oh, man, I don't know, Bubba.
I think Bert goes on Joe's show a lot.
He's been on there a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a price point that would get you back in the octagon?
I have everything I want. There's nothing that would really change my life.
Let's do price points on this.
Okay, $1 billion.
$150 million.
$1 billion.
$350 million.
Billion.
By the way, she's not worth any of it.
Nope.
She wouldn't be worth $5 million. Somebody would just run through those guts.
You're just fighting Bert Kreischer.
All right. I will beat the shit out of you in your backyard.
Oh, hold on. I got to dump that out, unfortunately.
Potty mouth.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
For this house.
How long do I get to train? I was just talking to Joe on the walk over.
So he doesn't know there's a disconnect here between Joe and Ronda, because obviously he wouldn't have brought this up. So he's just honestly or innocently talking to Joe. And it sounds like Joe may not have said a bad word about her. If he says, hey, I was just talking to Joe. Let's listen.
I was just talking to Joe on the walk over. How long for me to train to beat Ronda?
So I guess he was just talking to Joe text, hey, how long would I have to train to beat Ronda? He's not saying it in a confrontational or disrespectful way at all. Whatever Joe sent back, Bert, I don't know if Bert's going to say he didn't say, but there's
No, he was just saying hypothetically, like if they were to fight and like he went and talked to Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan was giving him advice on how to beat and train for.
Right, but
beating
nothing of disrespect.
No.
Me to train to beat Ronda. That'll never happen.
He wouldn't know. He's not an expert. He's a fan with an audience.
Ooh.
Yeah. Listen to this.
That'll never happen.
He wouldn't know. He's not an expert. He's a fan with an audience.
Meanwhile, he's a pretty accomplished, MMA guy.
He's tough as nails.
He really, really is. And even more accomplished as pop culturally the go-to guy with regards to, interviewing celebrities, interviewing all types of, he is, I hate to say it, he's what Howard was 10 years ago. He's the most powerful.
He really is,
he's
isn't he?
the most powerful entity of broadcast. He is. He's the most powerful. He's the king of, you know what? He would be the new king of all media. And media has gotten way bigger than it used to be. Media used to just be terrestrial radio stations and TV. Now it's terrestrial radio stations, podcasters, social influencers, streamers, gamers. And guess what? Joe Rogan is the king of all that. So, Rhonda, are you saying this because Joe has been somewhat critical of your skill set when you got your ass? Once somebody finally, Holly Holmes, once somebody finally figured you out, you got your ass dropped like a sack of potatoes, and I don't know that you ever regained from that. Will you look at her record after Holly Holmes and let me know?
Yeah.
And for her to talk smack about Joe Rogan, to me, just absolutely breeds insecurity and jealousy. Because, all the hours of play-by-play that he's done for you when you were on top, when you were indestructible, when you were the king, and you were being heralded as the greatest woman UFC, the greatest woman UFC fighter of all times.
She lost those. After Holm, she lost her last fight, and that was it.
Yeah. So Joe correctly probably gave those stats and his opinion of your skill set once Holly Holmes dropped you, and that's made you, Johnny Sour Pants. Meanwhile, when you were making your trek through the UFC, becoming undefeated, becoming the monster until Holly Holmes dropped you because she figured you out, Joe Rogan probably was very instrumental in putting you over. And really making you. Do you know how many millions of dollars that you made probably because of his promotion of you, probably because of his description of you, because of how you fought, and he propped you up and put you on the stage, and now you're gonna say this. You're gonna say this.
Over. How long for me to train to beat Ronda? That'll never happen.
He wouldn't know. He's not an expert. He's a fan with an audience.
And you know what? The largest audience of all. And to call him a fan is so disrespectful. It is so disrespectful. I have zero respect for you, bitch. You uneducated, not knowing how to work, think that you're not all that. You're the furthest from that. There are so many people that could be more critical of Joe that have a far better resume than you do. And Joe was instrumental in building your resume. Just because he was honest about your skill set, once you got dropped, now you have a hard on for the guy.
That's interesting. Is that how you feel about you?
Never fought.
He fought Taekwondo, right?
Never fought. That's not fighting.
And I don't know that Joe has ever built himself to be a fighter that's on the level of the champions that walk into the UFC octagon. I don't know that Joe's, Listen, how many play-by-play guys do you have? Let me. How many sports broadcasters or play-by-play guys? I mean, did Bob Costas ever play a down? Hold on.
No, I don't think so.
Did
I
Bob
don't think
Costas
so.
ever play a down of any was Bob Costas ever a professional anything?
I don't believe so.
But
no.
but arguably one of the greatest. I mean, he could do the Olympics. He could do baseball. He could do golf. Just like Seth, we were talking about Mike Tirico.
Yes.
I don't know that Mike Tirico was ever a pro at anything, but he could do the U.S. Open, and then he could go do the Masters. So I don't know that Joe, advertises himself as being as good as the people that are in the octagon.
But he is an expert.
Oh, he is.
The guy's seen more fights. He is a fighter.
Absolutely.
He's trained with the best fighters. The guy, you can't get a bigger expert in
You can't
UFC,
find a guy
MMA fighting than him.
You can't find a person that knows more about the sport than he does.
Nope.
Period.
Yep.
And
She's
that's
so
what
lame.
that's what he gets paid to do.
Right.
He doesn't get paid to go in that,
fight.
hey, Joe, after you do play-by-play, you got to go take on the guy that wins
Yeah.
in a rubber
Never
match.
fought. That's not fighting. It's not fighting.
Well,
She
I'm going
sucks.
to exit this conversation.
So ungrateful.
I don't want you to get.
Ungrateful, you're right, because I mean, how many hours and hours did he spend covering your fights when you're making your way through the ranks, making you the unbeatable female, monster that everybody thought you were until you got your ass dropped.
Any bad DMs? We need to get out.
Yeah, screw you, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, she's horrible.
I hate you. I genuinely hate her for her inability to be respectful
Yes.
to a person that is UFC royalty. Absolute UFC royalty. How he positions fighters, how he does play-by-play, how he markets them. He's absolutely the total package. He doesn't claim to be a good fighter. He does it to stay in shape.
I wouldn't fight him, though.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Unless I had a gun and he had a stick.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
He's tough.
Screw
Strong.
you, Ronda Rousey, you ugly bitch.